And innovative uses of cannabis have been created over the past couple of years. And which better way to showcase them than through the Cannabis Expo? Now, the event is taking place in Johannesburg from the 28th of November to the 1st of December. So let's get more from this from one of the organizers, Silas Howarth. Silas, thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. I mean, it obviously is a big and it's a growing market, especially in the South African context. Does that mean stigma and stereotypes have now been done away with?
I don't think they're completely done away with, but certainly events like the Cannabis Expo really does help. We did our first event last year in mainland Pretoria, and since then had a Cannabis Expo in Cape Town earlier this year, and then in Durban, and now for our biggest show yet coming to the Sandton Convention Centre. And we've seen from event to event just more and more people coming to the expos. We had close to 20,000 people in Cape Town, and so it is amazing. Stigma, there is still a stigma around cannabis, but certainly having events like the Cannabis Expo helps to educate people, helps people to really just to understand how broad, how versatile cannabis really is, and the cannabis industry really is.
I mean, we're going to talk a little bit about how broad the industry is, but in terms of products, etc., which products seem to have the draw card?
It's amazing. There are so many different products and so many different people. You know, there's people from all walks of life coming to the Cannabis Expo. I mean, there are people who come to the expo purely from a business perspective. There's so many job opportunities in cannabis at the moment, with a lot of money, a lot of international money being poured into it, a lot of local people becoming cannabis entrepreneurs. So that's a big part of the expo. These are guys that are looking for solutions, looking for, you know, finding out how they can get into cannabis business. And then, of course, you've got the fun side as well, and the recreational side, and so many interesting products there. What we've seen recently is with CBD and food, is the cannabis food explosion, where there are so many. I mean, there's cannabis popcorn right through to cannabis energy shakes for fitness, for workouts. So it's really incredibly broad. And then, of course, you've got the whole growing side of it as well. How best to grow your cannabis. So yeah, there's so many people come, and the health side as well. So people are coming for very different reasons and for very different products, but it's all there under the umbrella of cannabis at the Cannabis Expo.
Well, of course, I mean, there's a lot of education that still needs to come into it, Silas, and one of them would say that, in fact, that may even be hampering small businesses from being able to participate inclusively in the cannabis industry. As you mentioned, it's quite broad, but one must understand the limitations as well as the legislative framework against which such a business actually operates. So then, how does that messaging filter down to small businesses so that they can too become participants from even an entrepreneurial perspective?
Sure, I think it's really interesting, and there's you've hit the nail on the head. That is, you know, that's something that it's quite a hot topic at the moment within the cannabis industry, is how to ensure that really everyone across the board, a broad spectrum of people, are able to benefit from this growing, incredibly lucrative potentially industry. So we've got, it's not just at the Cannabis Expo, there's an expo stage with talks every half an hour, but we've also introduced in Sandton now the Cannabis Convention, where people will be talking. We've got experts from across the industry. We've got panel discussions with people from, you know, with legislators, with government, meeting with small, you know, and private enterprise, and activists. And it's all the cannabis experts and business experts in this country and across the sub-Saharan region that are actually getting together and having discussion, opening up these conversations, and trying to see how we can best forge, you know, the best policy going forward in this country. So it's a very important event. This is the biggest cannabis event on the African continent.
Silas Howarth, they were giving us the latest on the Cannabis Expo happening from the 28th until the 1st of December. While still to come in your sports.